So Warnock especially, who did a little bit better. It's looking, I thought Warnock was gonna be several points ahead of Ossoff. But Warnock did do a little bit better, and he did better pretty much overall than Biden did. He overperformed in mostly like Atlanta suburb, like more black areas by about 3 points better than Joe Biden. But even in Trump counties, he did about 2 points better than Biden did. So like across the board, more Dem areas, redder areas, he was doing better than Biden. And if we take a look at the breakdown of a few different groups, including racial demographics, let's take a look at this. You can see he did very well, 90% amongst black men, 94% among black women. But look at the white vote, 74% of white men still went for Kelly Loeffler. These are deeply conservative white men in Georgia voting for one of the most artificial, out of touch billionaire candidates ever. Because at the end of the day, she's still white. Still a Republican.
It's all that matters.
They're not gonna go for Warnock. I heard he was trained by Marxists. So anyway, he's really dangerous.
Yeah, I know there's tons happening, and then I just want, because you said heroes and culprits so really fast, and honestly, she deserves a full segment on it. But Stacey Abrams is the hero on this. Stacey Abrams is one who's been working since no one knew who she was on things like reforming our voting system, fighting back against voter suppression efforts that the Republican Party's been pulling since the beginning of the Republican Party. So there's always been an exclusionary role when it comes to who is allowed to vote, to live a certain way, own property, everything throughout every kind of political disagreement and discussion and suppression of rights in this country has been carried out by certain groups of people who want to hold on to that power to just, at first it was just the land owning white person. Then, then it stretches on to a little bit further, but still it was every layer that was added to any kind of rights given in this country were people that still held a superiority over other folks' rights who were still being suppressed. It could cross through gender lines, it crosses through your gender identity lines, through sexuality, any of that stuff. People's rights are still being fought for, and we forget that. We like to say, "Oh, it's come such a long way. Racism is over. Bigotry is over." None of that matters anymore. We defeated Nazis in 1945. No, we didn't. They're still around because we still entertain their thoughts. We still hope for their votes. One of our parties still does. So we still have a lot to fight for. And Stacey Abrams was waging that fight, even when she was running for governor. She still fought. And then after all that, she didn't give up. And look what happened. It's organization, it's putting people in place and letting them know how important this election is and giving them an opportunity to vote for actually their futures. And she's the hero in this, while Donald Trump is the heel.
And that work still needs to continue because maybe Georgia's shifting, maybe it's durable. It's still incredibly suppressed in terms of voting rights. And next time Trump isn't gonna be on the other side of the ballot to vote against. It makes me wonder though, what if Georgia didn't have insane crushing voter suppression? What would the state actually look like? Now we could get there, but it's going to be people like Stacey Abrams as well as a number of other individuals and groups, both operating today and those who have laid the foundation for it over the last decades. So that work needs to continue. Like if you did a great job by supporting, whether financially or getting out the vote, like Sunrise Movement was like getting people to vote and text their friends and everything. You still need to support those groups even after this, because if we don't put in the work between now and midterms, those midterms aren't gonna be great. And by the way, Warnock is gonna have to run for re-election in 2 years. So because again, this is a special election. Ossoff, who didn't perform as well, luckily gets a full 6-year term, but Warnock is gonna be running again very soon. So if you were involved and invested this time, you get to take a little break maybe, but then we gotta get back in there and make sure that this seat stays that way.
Yeah, it's a lifelong thing. It's just engaging in the political process and fighting for your rights, especially when you've been part of the disenfranchised group. That's not a temporary fight. It's constant, because the people who want to gain power and want to control everything, they don't want to give that up. It's not like they lose and go, okay, they got us. It's never been that way.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.